I want to say thank you to my patrons who suggested this video. So let's get started with the tools I think you should have. First, I want to point out that most guitar players are going to want to do basic maintenance and or setups on their guitars.
So the first thing they're going to want is a tuner.
This strobe tuner by Peterson is one of my favorite tuners. Super accurate, and I don't think you can do much better than this. However, most players are not going to need such an expensive tuner, so they might want to go with a basic clip-on tuner. Every time you're playing, the strings are vibrating, which means your guitar is vibrating. If your guitar is vibrating, things are probably coming loose. The next thing you're gonna need is a multi-tool. There's ones from Ibanez. Gibson has theirs with their special socket for their truss rod, and Dunlop has one. However, the ones I like are actually kits like these. Now, first I'm gonna show you the Music Nomad one. The Music Nomad one is my favorite. If you don't have any tools or if you don't have room for tools, this is the kit to get. Not only does it have all the Allen wrench adjustments you're gonna need, and of course flathead and Phillips head screwdrivers, it's also gonna have this ESP tool. Now, if you're not familiar with the ESP tool, this tool right here, they made a copy of it. It's included in the kit and it works fine. This is great for getting underneath and tightening knobs. You can use it to tighten output jacks. You can use it to tighten the nuts on the tuning keys as well. It gets into all kinds of places. It's really, really, really good. It even can adjust the slots on adjustable hardtail bridges. The other thing that's great about this kit is the screwdriver handle has sockets on the end of it. And these sockets are not only metric, but standard. So you have the 1/2 inch, which is what you'll need for the output jack. You have a 10 millimeter, which is what's gonna fit most of your tuning keys. And of course, other different sizes that you may need as well. This is a great tool. So like I said, this is an all-in-one tool that I think does a really good job. If you're more on a budget or more conscientious, you can find all kinds of toolkits on Amazon or at your local tool supply stores. Of course, you can just get a set of metric and standard Allen wrenches and a set of screwdrivers. You'll be fine, and some socket wrenches, but either way, you're gonna need that stuff. So I just wanted to show you some of the multi-tools. Next, you're gonna need something to check the frets. So this is what's called a fret rocker. And you can also, I've done videos where I show you how to use a credit card. You can use a credit card to do this. You can use anything. It's just it's a piece of flat metal with different lengths. So obviously if you have over here, you start here, and as you get forward, it gets a little narrower, and then you go to the narrow piece. And then as you get closer, you got narrow here. So basically, if you put it on 3 frets, what's gonna happen is, if it doesn't move at all, doesn't rock, the frets are all level. Now, if it does rock, because one of the center fret is higher, you know that that fret is high. This is a great way to detect those problems. So again, like I said, you can make this product, you can buy this product on Amazon, you can buy some nicer ones, it's up to you. I like to buy quality tools. I find I never regret buying a quality tool, and they last you a long time. The next thing you're probably gonna want is some kind of string winder. What I like about the D'Addario string winders, this is my original one that I've had for about 15 years, maybe longer. This is the newer one, is that this winder isn't just a winder, it actually has the bridge pin puller for your acoustic, and of course, something to cut the string ends on. This is important because some of the cheap wire cutters that you buy for a couple bucks or come in those really cheap kits on Amazon, sure, they cut the strings a few times, but then they start getting dense and they can't cut anymore, and you just throw them away. This cutter, well, let me show you. These ones I've been using, like I said, every day for 15 years. They're still just as strong and as powerful as the day I started using them. The next thing you're gonna need is something to measure. Measuring is very important when you're doing a setup. There are a couple things. First, there is what's called a string action guide. You can buy ones from Homestead on Amazon that are very inexpensive. This is from StewMac. I use metric. You can get metric or standard. The only thing I say is I'd only get one and stick with one. It's up to you. I like metric because I think it's easy to communicate with customers. When I say, hey, it went from 1 millimeter to 1/2 millimeter, I think even if they don't measure or work on things, people understand half. That's all for a basic setup. That's all you need. I'm gonna throw in some bonuses. Here's some bonuses. Is a notch straight edge. What it's designed to do is this one has 2 sides. It has a 25.5 inch scale, and then on top has a 24.5 inch scale. It's designed to sit across your fretboard, and it has notches so it can go on obviously over your frets. And this lets you know when your neck is straight, so when you're making adjustments. But I'd like to point out that I had one that I made out of wood, and before wood, I had one I made out of a foam poster board that I cut out with an X-Acto knife. Like I said, you can make one of these, you can buy one of these. Just a notch straight edge is pretty easy. You can take a ruler, a wooden ruler that you get at the hardware store, and literally cut notches out of where your frets go. Next, what I would recommend are the 3 tools that I think you need for doing fret work, okay? So there are a lot of tools for do fret work. But these 3 tools, I can tell you right now, if you give me these 3 tools, I can go to anywhere and I can literally do an entire fret job with these 3 tools. This first tool is really important. This is one of my oldest tools. I've had it forever. You can find these at StewMac and Crimson Guitars. I have videos, I'll put links down below where you can use it to hit the sides of the frets. If you have fret sprout where your neck shrinks and your frets are sticking out, you can use it to run the side of that. You can use this to level all your frets on your guitar. If you don't have a sanding beam, it's sometimes a lot cheaper if you're gonna do one every once in a while and you don't have the rolls, because you have to buy rolls of sandpaper and the beam if you're gonna do it that way. So this works great. You can literally level all of the frets with this tool. Then once you've leveled everything with this tool, you can use this tool to crown them. This is my favorite one to recommend. They have 3 attachments, which has your vintage, medium, and jumbo frets. You just turn that little screw right there, it comes out. You put in the other one. After you level those frets, you can go ahead and crown them with this tool. And then the last one I recommend, which I recommend all the time, and this is definitely a great tool, this is the fret and dress file. This has a rounded side, and what you can do is you can round over your frets, or you can use it to take care of fret sprout from the side. And again, I have tons of videos. I'll put links down below in the description where I've used this file. Definitely think you should get a soldering iron. Now, some people are gonna say, and they're fine, a multimeter as well, and a multimeter is a great tool as well. You can use it to diagnose all kinds of things, check pickups, check components. Soldering irons are gonna be great to fix the output jacks, install pickups. I use Weller soldering stations. So again, I hope this video was helpful, and as always, I wanna thank you so much for your time. I wanna thank the patrons for suggesting this video, and as always, till the next time, know your gear.